finals. I've been trying some new things. I went bungee jumping recently. Yeah, my boyfriend was so excited. He told all his friends, but he forgot the word for bungee jumping, so he just went, yeah, last week my girlfriend jumped off a bridge. She got a video. She convinced her friends to jump with her. The night before, she was having second thoughts, and I was like, I think you should go through with it. And I like to think I'm the reason that she jumped. You know the worst part? All his friends agreed with him. Yeah, I'm really glad you jumped too. What the hell? My boyfriend and I have been arguing about this constantly. I'm like, your friends are dead to me. And he's like, no, you're dead to them. It's a whole thing. Another new thing I've been trying lately is jewelry collecting. And sentimental jewelry pieces, they really become a part of you. Like, for example, this necklace. Can you guys all see this necklace? This was my old IUD, so really it started as a part of me. After the whole intensive process of getting my IUD fitted, the nurse gave me an absolutely enormous bag of condoms, which, what did we just do? But also, it was entirely too many condoms as well. But like, I couldn't say that to someone. Like, I don't have it in me to look someone in the eye and be like, I will not be needing all of these. Be terrible necklaces. So instead, I had to hold this catastrophically huge bag of condoms and be like, thank you for this incredibly normal amount of condoms. I mean, obviously I prefer a little more, but... now my degree is called War Studies. And because of my degree, I would get IUD, intrauterine device, confused with IED, improvised explosive device. I'd read about the blood and the gore and the surgery required if it went wrong, and then realize that this wasn't my course reading. This was the NHS webpage. War Studies is one of those courses that's decided it needs to pay a lot more attention to gender now, which would be nice if they were good at it. Like, for example, they will say, gender is so important for us to study that for 1 entire hour. We will be studying Gender Week. We'll begin with the question, should women be allowed... This man says no. Probably the worst example of this is this academic called Michael Van Crispin. Now, this is kind of a little bit of an academic term, so try and stay with me, right? Van Crispin, within the academic communities, is known as a little bitch. He has a book about the decline of modern warfare, and he says that modern warfare is declining because women are joining armies, and men won't want to fight women, and women won't want to fight women. So because women are joining armies, no one's going to want to fight each other anymore, and modern warfare is ruined, which... Only a mega sexist would blame women for world peace. Only a mega sexist would accuse women of world peace. He also has a whole book about how women are the more privileged sex because they don't get drafted or they don't have to pay for first dates in like a academic war context. My first ever time doing this set was at an all-women's show. I ran my set to my sister. I called him a little bitch and she gasped, "Is Van Creveld going to be there to hear that?" Baby girl, this is a women's comedy night. Can you imagine Van Creveld coming to hear women be funny? He'd be staring at my IUD necklace the whole time, praying that it goes off. Now, there's sexism in academia, right? I'd say that's like intermediate level sexism. You know where you can find advanced sexism? Brewdog. I'm deadly serious. I went into the Brewdog toilets. There was a sign and a shelf. The sign said, "Are you on your period?" Lack of access to period products is a huge problem. Help yourself to whatever period products you need on the shelf below. The shelf had a single roll of toilet paper. The sign said #period_dignity. This is what I mean about advanced level sexism. Brewdog is the only place that will raise awareness about misogyny by turning you into the example. The sign also said, "We will match donations of products on the shelf with donations of products to women and girls in need." And then they made the number 0. Like, the Brewdog sexism has the streamlined self-sufficiency of big pharma. Like, the supply creates its own demand. Like, it's like an ambulance running someone over. And the worst part, this Brewdog was in Scotland, where period products are free. They paid to have the toilet paper there. They budgeted their sexism in. But I still feel pretty comfortable in Brewdog, actually. I love it when an establishment is profit-oriented. And it's because I grew up Muslim, so for a while, most of my life was profit-oriented. I read a lot of Islamic stories when I was a kid, and my favorite was the story of the Prophet Ibrahim and his son Ishmael. Now, as the ancient fable goes, Allah told Ibrahim to sacrifice his son, and Ibrahim said unto him, "What?" But in true teenage fashion, Ishmael was like, "Nah, man, I've seen enough, I'm ready to go." So, Ibrahim built a pyre, placed his son on it, and set it alight. But then, the flames turned blue, which, if you've done basic science, you will know means that they are cold. And Allah comes down and says, "Psych, it was all a test of loyalty." Loyalty. And instead of very understandably asking, "Why did your test of loyalty involve me barbecue flame grilling my son?" Ibrahim said, "That's actually perfectly reasonable, actually, yeah." And then he sacrificed a lamb instead, and now every year for Eid, Muslims will sacrifice a lamb for charity. The problem with this story is that I am autistic. And the thing about autistic people is that they really struggle with non-verbal cues. For example, metaphors. This becomes a bit of an issue for religious stories. As my mum found out when I, at the tender age of 7, came down to her, Islamic story in hand, and said, "Mum, I'm ready. Sacrifice me." She was concerned, I was prepared. I said, "It's okay to be scared." The Prophet Ibrahim was scared too. But this is how I've just learned that we show our loyalty to Allah, and I'm ready to go if you're ready to believe. And she looked at me and she said, "You sound like a member of ISIS." And she confiscated all my Islamic stories, and I was never allowed to study the Quran again. Do you understand how embarrassing it's going to be when I die and go to heaven and Allah says, "Were you a good Muslim?" And I have to be like, "Sorry, my mum said no"? My name is Anoushay. You guys have been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much.